Hello, it's me from the future, and I'm editing and realizing there's like 4 different spots in this video that my lighting completely goes out of focus and I kind of fall into a shadow. I tried my best to do like a little bit of post editing to make that easier on your eyeballs, and I just don't know how to do that, so bear with me. So it's been a week, and that's because last week was a crazy week in my life, which I will update about in the future, but small updates that I can give you right now is that LVL is officially rolling the ball with its 501c4 status, and that has been a mind-blowing, just very humbling and gratitude-filled experience over the past couple weeks. Holy shit. And I figured since I haven't filmed anything for a type of vlog, I would sit down and I would kind of talk about like minimalist practices for everybody, because if I get any questions when people come over to my house, it's basically, how did you minimize? And if I were to see my house now, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I would ask myself the same thing. First, I just want to say that it's not something that happened like overnight whatsoever. It was a really slow and intentional process for Nick and I over like 4 years until we hit a spot that we could just maintain. And that had a lot to do with honestly reverse engineering our laziness. Like the minimalism really started with our clothes because we hated doing laundry, and then moved to other areas of our house like the dishes and the bathroom. No matter what your reasoning is to being more minimal, whether it's to save money, to have to clean less, just have less junk and like more of a clean space and therefore headspace, it's beneficial for us, it's beneficial for your mental health, and it's beneficial for the planet. So here are some just like basic tips, I guess, that help unlearn consumerism, because that's really what it comes down to. So yeah, number 1. You can basically start with a personal inventory per room, and that can start in your bedroom, that can start in the kitchen, that can start in the bathroom, the garage, whatever room you want to start in a room and do an inventory. See what you have. Like, go through all your drawers, go through your closet, go through under your bed and those boxes that you haven't opened in forever. Go through the cabinets in your kitchen that are full of like pots and pans that you never use, so you never open it. Go through all of those things. See what you have. Pull it all out even. I'm a visual person, so I pull it out. And then you can kind of go from there once you know what you have. And to me, minimalism is more or less having a purpose for everything that you have. Not necessarily trying to have the smallest amount of things, or not carrying things that you don't need on an everyday basis, because that's just not practical. It's more or less having what you need specifically. So get rid of doubles. You know, if you have extras, donate them, give them away. Find those random things that you forgot that you had and realistically think like, when was the last time I used this? Have I ever used this before? Do I have a purpose for this in the future? And if like you're answering no to those questions, then maybe you can put that in your giveaway box too. And just kind of like cut down. And this is tough for some people when you start talking like sentimental things or like collectibles. You have something that means something to you, or it holds a special place in your heart, and you want to hold on to that thing. Do that. Like, everybody's minimalism looks different. I really don't feel like there's a black and white way to be the best and most minimalist person. It's just keep what you need, what's close to your heart. I have a box that's like, it's a long but skinny box. Fellas. It stays under the bed, and it's full of old journals of mine, pictures that my brothers and sister had like drawn me when they were kids, sentimental stuff, photos, letters, cards, you know, stuff that I don't want to get rid of, but honestly probably won't look at until the next time I want to be nostalgic. Hold on to that stuff. That stuff's okay too. But when you're looking at like the clutter on a surface, just really decide like, do I need to hold on to this? Do I have a purpose for this in the future? Or does somebody else that I know, you know, would they maybe have a better use for it? And go from there. And then once you've gone through your room or the room and you've figured out what you have and you've downsized to what you want to keep, find a place for that thing. Make it its own designated spot. Like if you're in the bathroom, for example, like put Q-tips in a cup or in a jar or something. If you have bobby pins, have a little basket for them, or like hair ties or your makeup thing. Like make sure everything has its own spot, so when you're done with it, you put it back in that spot. When you're running out of it, you know you're running out of it, so you can keep track of it to make sure that you can like replace it when you need to. You're not buying extra things because it's not out of sight, out of mind. It keeps things clean, it keeps things aesthetic. And I don't know if your brain works like mine, but when things are clean and aesthetic in my house, it's just better all around. Okay, number 2 would be replacing and recycling. what you have. So once you've gone through your personal inventory of like each room or each little spot that you're trying to minimize, and you have it downsized to your necessities and your wants, now keep it at that number. Like, for example, our closet, we have 80 bamboo hangers. We bought bamboo hangers because they're more sustainable than plastic ones. They're more aesthetic for my closet, and they're not as easy to go and purchase more if I want to go on a shopping spree and expand my closet. So what we do when we go shopping and we bring home new things, we find things that currently exist in the closet that it can replace. So if I bought a new cardigan, I'm gonna replace maybe an old long sleeve shirt or something that is like in the same realm of use. And that might be tough for some people. Take what works for you, I guess, but that's really helped us. All seasonal clothes, including our jackets and everything, all fit in our closet with 80 hangers. So like, I don't know if we have exactly 40, probably not, but both of us mid-20s adults can live off of 80 hangers. And that process all started by just basically downsizing every time we did laundry. So, by mind you, we were 19, 20, maybe 18, 19 around this time when we just were like, finally, like, we need to figure out how to minimize this shit because we hated doing laundry. We let it pile up like teenagers do, and at a point where there was like the scattered hanging clothes left in the closet that like you don't have anything left to wear, you know, once you get down to that. And then we'd have to do like 12 loads of laundry to catch up on everything else that was just like on the floor in the hampers or whatever. Like, so what we would do is we would go through the closet every time we would hit that point, and we would basically get rid of a few, if not all of the things that were left hanging, because those were options that we glanced over because they weren't things that we liked to wear anymore or didn't fit us right. We slowly downsized each time we did laundry. And the more you're mindful of what's in your closet, and like the more times you do this, like once a week, you become more aware of what clothes you're grabbing over other clothes, and it becomes easier and easier because it's like, oh shit, I've honestly looked over this shirt for like 4 weeks in a row. So we toss that one finally. And number 3, this is kind of for the ones who have a hard time getting rid of things, and this was me in the beginning, and also for the things that you're kind of on the fence about, where you're like, I haven't used it in a long time, but I did use it once, and I probably might use it again in the future maybe, so I should keep it. And so what we're gonna do for those things is we're gonna have a box that's basically like a, I don't know, I almost want to call it a fuck it bucket. In my notes, I wrote down it's a fuck around and find out box. Basically, it's a box, like a medium or a large size box, whatever, tub, something that you're gonna put away. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna take all the things that you're on the fence about or unsure of or just kind of like iffy of if you want to get rid of, and you're gonna put it in the box. And on top of it, or on it, you're gonna put a little note that has the date of whatever it is that you put in that box. You're gonna go put it in the garage. You're gonna put it under your bed, you're gonna put it somewhere that's not in your way, and you're gonna forget about it. Because if you need anything out of that box, you will remember it, you will go to that box, you will grab that thing out of that box, and now you know that that thing isn't something that you wanna throw away. Well, the next time you remember that box, I can almost guarantee you it's gonna be a long ways down the road and you're not even gonna remember what's in it. And that's kind of like your test of time. Is this something that I'm gonna need and like seek in the future? Or is it something that I'm gonna let get dusty and forget about in a box? And that kind of solves things for you. And then from there, it's basically like a whole game of just wash, rinse, and repeat. You just kind of repeat the process over and over and over again. I really enjoy doing it this way because now it's hit a point where my home is constantly evolving. I don't feel like there's just all this clutter all of a sudden, or now we have all this mail, or I don't know. I remember in our first apartment, it was 2015, and we had lived there for maybe six months, and sitting on the couch and looking around of just like, holy shit, like how did we get so much stuff? Because it was our first apartment, meaning that when we moved out, we had nothing but like our clothes and basic essentials and stuff. We had to furnish the house, and that was our first place together, you know, as kids. So to go from moving in with like 8 boxes to looking around and having like every surface covered with something, it just kind of blew me away. Like I even remember tweeting it, like humans acquire a lot of shit. This is really weird. And now like we have this as such a practice in our life that, I don't know, I'd say like every 6 months to a year, if you were to walk through our space, it would have a completely different vibe and feeling, and sometimes art even, and aesthetic and all that. But it's very clean, it's very like uncluttered, very intentional, and I really like that. And it's really cool, honestly, because things just kind of like grow with me without growing in size. I don't know if that makes sense. But basically those 3 like tools were really big tools in our tool belt when it came to minimizing the stuff that we had and keeping it minimized. And at the end of the day, for me anyway, and again, I'm gonna say that everybody's like definition of minimalism and what works for you is gonna look different. Just keep it intentional. You basically are donating things, getting rid of things, rehoming things with intention, purchasing things with intention. You are cleaning your house with intention, placing things in your home with intention. And all around, it's kind of turned into like a spiritual practice for me, on top of just a consumer habit to try and be as mindful and anti-capitalistic as possible. I don't know what else to mention. This is definitely a shorter video than like my past few videos have been. It's not a vlog or really anything like that. I just thought maybe I would sit down and do kind of a chit chat and share some tips that I had with minimalism, and hopefully some of them resonated with you. If you're still here, I super appreciate it. I'll see you later. Bye.
Try to catch me howling at
Sidebar. If you're watching this real time, Las Vegas Liberation is still accepting donations for our 501c4 fundraiser. We are, I want to say, $630 at this moment. It's actually like $150 now, which is incredible because we just started fundraising a few weeks ago. The support has been so beyond anything that I could ever imagine, and I can't express gratitude enough. So if you're interested in supporting Las Vegas Liberation at all, I'll put all of the links and stuff that you need in the description. Bye.